It's now my pleasure to invite the Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister, Richard Marles, to open the dialogue. I thank him for his strong support of ASPI and, more importantly, commend him for his commitment to Australia being an active global player in the advancement of technology and its impact on society, security and sovereignty. There is no bigger or better example than AUKUS, and specifically Pillar 2's focus on capabilities, which is a whole-of-nation endeavour that will help with regional stability for generations. As the Deputy PM put so well in February this year, capability, high-end capability, the use of which is at the complete discretion of a country, contributes greatly to the capacity of a people to determine their circumstances and therefore contributes greatly to national sovereignty. And Australia's partnerships provide a critical advantage. By pooling resources and combining strengths, we can shape our future, reduce our vulnerability to coercion and help deter conflict. Deputy PM, I know it's an exceptionally busy time in Canberra, so thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Justin. And can I start by acknowledging the Gadigal people, the traditional owners of the land on which you are all meeting this morning. And let me also acknowledge the Ngunnawal people, the traditional owners of the land from which I speak to you right now. And in acknowledging both, say how proud I am to be a part of a government which is completely committed to seeing our First Nations peoples recognised in our Constitution through the establishment of a voice to Parliament. And later this year, Australians will be given the opportunity of placing their vote in support of that recognition. Climbing the technological ladder is really Australia's great challenge, and it is particularly our challenge, more our challenge than almost any other country in the world. The Harvard Index of Economic Complexity is a measure which has at one end of the spectrum the most high-tech, sophisticated services economy, which happens to be Japan, and at the other end, the most basic subsistence economy. It is in many respects an index of modernity, an index of technology. Right now, Australia ranks 91st on that index. We're sandwiched between Namibia and Kenya. And while that's obviously not a true reflection of where we stand in the list of modernity in the world, it does speak to the fact that as an economy, we are highly dependent upon our primary industry. Now, primary industry is really important for our country. Indeed, right now it is the hope of the side, but we as a nation must be more than that. And that really means that we have a national challenge to climb the technological ladder and in the process change our relationship, our cultural relationship to science. In many respects, I think there is no more greater microeconomic reform in Australia today than infusing our economy with science and technology, which is why what you're talking about over the next 2 days is so profoundly important for our country. And whilst we have a proud history in science and in discovery, as commercialisers of that science, of infusing it into our own economy, we do poorly relative to other developed nations, and this we must change. That is a challenge across our general economy, but it's also a fundamental challenge in respect of our defence industry. And it's central to advancing our national interest in the world that we climb the technological ladder when it comes to defence industry. Because in so many ways, the history of human contest is ultimately a history of technology competition, and we must be at the forefront of that. As Justin said, the AUKUS announcement and the technology sharing arrangements embodied in AUKUS between Australia, the United States and the United Kingdom is very central to our strategy in terms of improving the technology within our defence forces and within our nation's defence industry. Certainly acquiring a nuclear-powered submarine capability for Australia and becoming just the 7th country in the world to be able to operate that technology will be a very significant step forward in capability for our nation. But The Pillar 2 area of AUKUS, which seeks to look at other emerging technologies, is going to be fundamentally important for our nation as well. In areas such as hypersonics, artificial intelligence, quantum, making sure that we are at the forefront of all of that is critically important in terms of making sure that when it comes to human contest, we are right there with a technological edge. And this is very central to how we are thinking about our strategic circumstances and how we're thinking about advancing our national interest in the context of those strategic circumstances. So I really wish you all the best for the coming 2 days. It's important that we are talking about what technologies we can bring to bear within our wider economy and certainly within our defence industry. But as we think about the new technologies which are out there and the new technologies that we can infuse within our economy, it's also really important that we are not just having another conference about new technologies, but that we are having the conversation about Australia's relationship to technologies. That's actually what we have to change. We need to be thinking about how Australia specifically should be and absolutely can be at the centre of global technology advancement. So say that is our great national challenge. And with that, I really wish you all the best for the coming 2 days, and I hope the Sydney Dialogue fulfils all the promise that you have for it. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Deputy Prime Minister. Very much appreciate those remarks, and to a great extent you have now set the challenge for these 2 days of discussions for Australia and our partners to climb the tech ladder, and I think your statement saying that we've got to be at the forefront of tech competition is exactly what these discussions are going to be about. So your remarks fit perfectly with all of our agenda, and thank you very much. I think you've got a series now of meetings in Canberra, but I do thank you for spending the time to open the dialogue, and I very much appreciate your support and the government's support for the Sydney Dialogue.
Thanks.